return. Should we restart the meeting?
No, we're still in it. We were in the hot tub. Now we're back in the pool.
Okay, we have returned from executive session.
Right? Yeah. Kind of visual that way.
And our next item on the agenda is superintendent's report. Jason?
Thank you. A couple items here to share. First of all, one COVID update. We are pursuing hard a test to stay option for our students, which essentially would allow them to return to school with testing here on school grounds. In order for that to happen, we haven't given the okay from the county. We're trying to coordinate that at a county level. My goal was to have that off the ground when our students return from the Christmas break on January 3rd. This is rather labor intensive, so one of my recommendations in January would be to modify our COVID plan to cease doing the daily temperature checks. This has been a measure that we have started. What we have found over the last year and a half, we've had about 20 students fail those tests, so to speak. In other words, that they had a temperature higher than normal. When those students were examined, none of them were diagnosed positive for being COVID. So it's not a bad strategy, but in order to have the staff available to do the testing, we have some volunteers who have already volunteered, but in order to make sure we can do this in a feasible manner, we could be testing anywhere between 15 to 20 students a day. We have to get the data uploaded to the state. So I will make a recommendation in January that the board look at the plan again and remove the temperature check option. No schools in our area are still doing the temperature check. We decided to have it. We have the resources. We have another option now to have our students return to school, and we'd like to pursue that. So that's a test to state option. So I would make a recommendation in January, if I were to be here, that we modify the plan to include, to reduce temperature checks. I'd like to ask now if there's any thoughts on that, because we do have to get a letter out to the parents. I can either not mention the temperature checks, but in order for us to get this going after spending hours with Lori and the nurse and the health department, we need the staff to be able to administer the test, read the results, get the data uploaded to the state, and this would essentially keep kids in school as long as they test negative. So I want to hear any thoughts on that. I really think we need to cease doing the temperature checks so we can make this happen in a feasible manner.
I have a question too. Do you have to have all this information with the state in order to have this program work, or can this just be a program we use?
The state has given the authority to the county health department to have this testing program authorized. The county health department has to authorize it, which they're in the process of doing with the 5 other schools in our county. Once we have that, we have a letter drafted that we can start. We can start it now if we want, but there's lots of legwork. So the plan is to start this in January.
I guess my concern is that I got my COVID test and I didn't get the results until 13 days later.
So these would be the rapid tests. These tests.
But my concern is that if this has to go through the county health department or the state to do it,
No,
they're kind of burdened right now.
we test here. So,
Agreed.
Okay.
But now the information has to go up through the state in order for the kids to stay in school?
No.
Okay.
That's
what I wanted to make sure.
No. Once we have the result, we're then obligated to then share it. There's no time limit for that. It has to happen at some point. The data has to be sent to the state. Which is the same thing we're doing right now.
Didn't know if it had to be going.
No, but we can and will respond here on site.
Yeah, no, I like this approach. But the brass tacks level, we had talked about this quickly a little while ago, and the tests weren't really there to be given. Is that still a problem?
So in my letter, thank you, Jared. In my letter, I have a disclaimer in there that we can do this as long as we have the test. So the county's working hard to get these tests. He's expecting anywhere to get between 3,000 and 4,000 tests in the next week or so. The state has told them they're on the way. So we have to have the test, here in place. We have now a PCR machine that we can use for students and staff who are symptomatic. We're also going to allow take-home tests, so we have been authorized to allow families to test at home, and then they would have to email us those results with the time and date stamp on them. So that's another method that would also ease some burden here on our staff. So they're going to give us some of those take-home tests as well. So what was your first question, Jerry? I lost track of the question. Ask me again.
Yeah.
So
We have the test, when are the tests coming?
we expect to have in the next we were told this afternoon, the next 2 to 3 weeks. If they're on order and he's been.
Go in March, we'll give him March.
Well, we do have rapid tests now.
We have rapid tests now. He's been authorized. Paul Pettit has asked for more.
Okay,
And he's been told between 3,000 and 4,000 for Orleans County.
is this money, or is there money available if we were to purchase them that we could be reimbursed?
If we
Because I
can,
understand we're trying to get them through the health department, we can also go get them at Walgreens. Yes, yeah, they're $20.
I think we can keep that.
I just didn't know if that's something we could be reimbursed
I
for.
think we could use our COVID money for that, but I'd like to keep that in our back pocket.
I couldn't agree with you more,
Yeah.
but whoever is going to be running this, the faculty, I am legitimately sorry, but I think if we could start this tomorrow, any day a kid doesn't miss school is great.
Yeah.
Especially for contact tracing.
90% of the ones that they put on quarantine never got.
That's not my point. My point is that, like, if we can start this, the sooner the better. I'd rather have kids here.
We
Like,
have
that's
been,
better.
so the other option, Vern, which I haven't talked about, the other option, which I'm not going to advertise as much, is the test to return option. We've been kind of doing it anyway. So if a student has been placed in isolation quarantine, they can test to return. We have the ability to have those tests here. What I still want to find out though is, are you okay? I hope you are, with me modifying, with the temperature checks being modified.
I can speak to that.
I can speak to that. I have informally told board members and been speaking with every parent that I see and asked about that. No one has said anything about, had any opposition to removing the temperature scale.
So what I would do,
And
sorry,
if I may,
of course,
a couple of questions I want to clarify. So there would be no cost for testing for individuals.
no.
That was a question I had. The other one is does test to stay include athletics as well?
Okay, so no. So that's also in the letter as well. The test to stay would allow students to participate in school only. It does not get them into athletics or musicals or concerts or anything. So that's state.
And that is different than counties that are surrounding us.
No, it's state. It's
Grand Island,
They're-
superintendent said
they
in
have
sports
they-
because they tested to stay.
that's not correct. They cannot do that. They're not supposed to do that.
What is the point of having them in school if they're?
Cool.
That has been rescinded. They should
I
not-
understand that. I understand the
Is that
intention
the
part of it.
discretion of the county or is that?
It's a state requirement. There's no gray area on that. If schools are doing that, then they're out of compliance.
Wrong.
It's convoluted. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand that they're here for education, but they also are enriched by the fact that they can participate in extracurricular activities.
Monroe
Whatever
County
it
also
might
tried
be.
that, and they were checked on that.
So you're gonna have
That
kids.
is part of our academic, that is part of our curriculum, and all those different things. We're comprehensive.
I mean, I think it's gonna backfire at some point because you're gonna get some kids that are gonna be like, yeah, well, I'm not testing and I'm just gonna sit home in quarantine for 14 days. If I can't play sports or I can't go to the musical or I can't do whatever is being offered, they're gonna sit at home and they're gonna lose the time anyway.
If we start doing it, the parents will start complaining, and they'll push on it, and it'll probably change.
Maybe noise helps. Noise helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jason,
I have one quick question. You said we have right now a test to return?
We've been doing that, not test to stay, but test to return. If we have students, test to return means whether, like on quarantine, day 6, day 7, we dealt with that on a case-by-case basis. We've been authorized to, many districts have already been kind of, doing that. We just couldn't really advertise it yet. So
Why wouldn't we advertise?
because it wasn't allowed,
Well, but it's allowed now?
Yes,
Test to return?
test to return is allowed now.
When did that change?
The same time we got the test to stay option. At the same time.
I'm good with that.
You got the
Yeah, I
temperature
want to
check.
have,
So,
I didn't know we'd do that
Well-
too.
yeah, so the temperature check piece, Lori, we just have to get that on the agenda for in January to have the temperature checks, off the plan. But the big thing is the test is staying there. They are not allowed to do the sports.
We do it in January, gives people time to
Yeah,
adjust, gives
yeah.
them to ask questions. It's not being pushed through quickly, and then,
Yeah.
we can take time to educate people on how it actually works. You can.
When you say sports, can they still stay after school?
For academic help, not for practices, yeah.
Okay,
Take gym?
I was gonna say, because they gotta make up PE classes sometimes in the fitness center after school.
Can you take gym? It doesn't make sense. It's typical state rules. It doesn't make sense. It came from the state.
So what about things, so extracurriculars, let's say hypothetically we had academic decathlon, would they be allowed to stay for something like that?
No,
But it's academics.
Band?
band's part of the academic day, just as PE is.
What about going to a concert,
But-
playing in a concert or singing in a concert?
No,
I would make sure that all that is clear.
it is, yeah. I have that italicized and underlined,
Just to
yeah.
minimize questions from the public.
Does that come with the testing thing that you just showed us? Is that in the same pamphlet?
Okay, so we'll go ahead and get that plan modified in January. I'm working on a letter as we speak, and I do want to thank the health department for their advocacy in getting this, going. Where I want to recognize our music students, we had a concert last Thursday that was very nice. We have one coming up this Thursday. Recognize our students from the musical. We did The Lion King early December. Recognize we held the third annual Fred Lodge Wrestling Tournament this past weekend. It was very well attended. Later on tonight, we have some teachers who have put a notice to retire. I'd like to take a minute and recognize them for their years of service to our school district as well. And finally, of course, this is my last board meeting after I calculated about 120 plus school board meetings over the last 10 years. I just would like to offer some final thoughts and some well wishes, obviously, to our students who I've gotten to know over the last 10 years, our faculty and staff, my administrative colleagues, both past and present. Lori Lene, she's been with me for all 10 years. Want to thank certain groups that I have had a tie to, our Linneville Lions Club, the Linneville Area Foundation, the Yates Library, and certainly our current board members, our past board members. From each of you I've learned, and I want to thank especially Sue and Ted, who I've been with for the last 10 years. They were on the board when I was first hired, almost 10 years ago to the day. Just some highlights I want to recognize: the strong community partnerships we have established, our very high graduation rates, the academic strides that we have established, and positive relationships with both our teachers and our clerical unit. One piece I really have enjoyed over the years, I've kind of had a halt due to concerns with quarantine. I would have student lunches once a week or so, our student leadership lunches. And certainly the last year and a half, almost 2 years now, has been very challenging leading and working under this current environment that you just saw with the test to stay. I recall that day back in March on a Saturday when we decided to shut school down. It's one of those moments that will stand out, but certainly leading in this era has been challenging. I was very proud that we kept our school open 5 days a week last year. I want to thank the board for their support with that, and overall thank the board, this board and this current board and past board for your support over the last 10 years. So thank you.
And the board would like to thank you, Jason, for your hard work over these last 10 years. We appreciate it. On to business action items. In a motion to approve the bid awards for the school vehicles as printed.
I'll second.
Questions or comments? All in favor of the bid awards, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous. In a motion to approve the tax collector's report as printed. Any questions or comments?
That's an extensive list compared to other years, doesn't it?
It was.
I can't remember a less than one.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor of accepting the tax collector's report, please raise your right hand. That's unanimous, and I'd like to mention after the meeting, our senior board members, myself, Sue, and Harold, we have a signature to put on that, if you don't mind. Next up, need a motion to approve the proposed updates to the HR plan document as printed.
Motion to approve is printed.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor of the HR document updates, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous. Need a motion to approve the substitute employee rate increases as printed.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous. On to business information items. As we go through these, if there's anything that you have a question on, please ask and we'll get you the answer. The treasurer's report for October 2021. Student activities balance and reconciliation sheet, also October 2021. General fund scheduled claims numbers 2, 3, and 4. Federal fund scheduled claims numbers 1, 2, and 3. School lunch fund scheduled claims number 1. Capital project fund scheduled claims number 1. Okay, on to personnel certified. Jason? Yes, I do have the first one. Need a motion to approve the resignation from the superintendent as printed.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments?
I would just like to thank, Jason, you had some crazy times here, and I wish you the best in your new endeavors. I will miss you.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor of accepting the resignation, please raise your right hand. Yes, unanimous. Thank you, Jason. Next is leave of absence. That's me too. So we need a motion to approve the leave of absence from Ms. Sharon Smith.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor of accepting the leave of absence, please raise your right hand. That's unanimous. Let me do this one. Need a motion to approve Mrs. Sharon Smith as the interim superintendent.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor of Mrs. Sharon Smith as the new interim superintendent, please raise your right hand. And that is effective January 3rd, 2022. Do resignations?
Yeah, I have 5 resignations for the purposes of retirement. We have from Amy Butel, Lisa Lewis, James O'Connor, Laurel Pitzrick, and Joanne Schur. Recommended resignation for retirement effective June 30th, 2022, with many thanks for their years of service.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments?
I'd like to thank all of those teachers, and every one of them, I've had a kid in there one way or the other, so very much thank you, and good luck.
You any other questions or comments? All in favor of the resignation for purposes of retirement, please raise your right hand. That's unanimous.
Recommend for approval for a probationary position in the area of elementary education, Jody Kinsey.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor of the teaching appointment, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous.
Recommendation that the board approve Megan Schur and Chris Vaughn for a part-time independent study for two students. We were unable to fulfill this through an online system, so this is the next best and needed option.
Motion to approve.
Comments? All in favor, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous.
And recommendation that Mark Hughes and Brad Hoffman be approved for modified girls basketball, modified boys basketball.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Questions or comments?
Favor, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous.
Recommendation, personnel classified that Val Weatherby be appointed to the position of payroll clerk effective December 14th, 2021.
Motion approved.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous.
Recommendation that Corinne Ryan be approved as keyboard specialist effective December 14th, 2021.
Motion to approve.
Questions or comments? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous.
Recommend that Margaret Dix be, has submitted her resignation for the purposes of retirement. Recommend her resignation with thanks and appreciation.
Motion to approve with, much thanks to Margaret. She carried my children off the bus. That really does leave me time.
Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that, she's one of those great people in the community who does the job, does it without asking questions, and, leads, even though it isn't a leadership type football position. She's been a phenomenal bus driver as well as human being in the school system, and, should be missed.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous.
Recommend the creation of a temporary cleaning position as soon as practicable due to a leave.
I'll second.
Questions or comments? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous.
Recommend a substitute, Danielle Pollock, for a teacher aide, teacher assistant, non-certified teacher.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Unanimous.
And then lastly, recommend the volunteers as written.
I'll second.
Questions or comments? All in favor of the volunteers as written, please raise your right hand. Unanimous. Need a motion to approve the recommendations from the Committee on Special Education and Preschool Special Education as printed.
Motion to approve as presented.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, please raise your right hand. It's unanimous. We will be in need of an executive session, but we will do roundtable first. Go around this way this time. Jared, would you like to start?
Yes, congratulations to all the students for their academic merits tonight. That's amazing, always, especially for the time that they've gone through. To all of the teachers that put in those years to be able to retire at the end of the year, congratulations and thank you. Jason, as you go to your next move, thank you. And Sharon, as you plan into fill those boots, thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Steve?
I'd like to congratulate the teacher retirees, all the service. I have to echo what Vern said. Most of my kids were with those teachers at some point. congratulate the students on their accomplishments, the grades. And also like to thank Jason for his service, for listening, even though he didn't like what he heard most of the time. And thank you.
Kristen?
Congratulations to our students on their academic excellence award this evening. Congratulations, Jason, on his new position at Batavia. You will be missed here. A sincere thank you to Lisa, Amy, Jim, Laurel, and Joanne for your years of dedicated service to our school and our students. And thank you to Margaret Dix for all your years of safely transporting our students and putting up with some craziness. You will be missed as well.
Thank you. Carol?
Yeah, first one I'd like to thank is Kelly Coleman did a phenomenal job with that Lion King. It was exceptional. It was good that we got her back here. The wrestling, I think that finishing second out of 18 teams has shown a vast improvement. The program is doing phenomenal. I hope it keeps improving. Thank the 5 teachers that we're losing. They are a big part of this school. They are all pretty dedicated, as most teachers in Winterville are, because they're drastically underpaid compared to other districts, and yet they come to work every day and do a hard job. Thank you, Jason, for the years and the arguments. And Margaret Dix, I already said some things about her, but she is still she'll be missed. She's one of the, I think we only have one other left from the original. So that's it.
Thank you, Carol. Sue?
I have to echo the sentiments that have already gone around. We are losing some great people from our staff, and I wish each and every one of them the very best in their new endeavors, and it will be very difficult to fill their shoes, from our teachers to our bus driver to our superintendent. God bless you on your new endeavors.
Thank you, Sue.
Invite the members to read the comments from our ex officio student member, Gracie Johnson, who couldn't be here today due to sports practice. Next up, Sharon.
First, I want to congratulate our students, the recipients of the academic awards, and a special thank you to their parents. They've done a good job by these kids. Congratulations to Jimmy Zeliff and Joey Schur and all our coaches and volunteers for the French Large tournament. It was incredibly well organized and just a huge accomplishment for our wrestlers, our coaches, and all our volunteers. I echo everyone's thoughts to our music department, Mrs. Truffaut, Mrs. Folman, just an outstanding job in Lion King. I enjoyed that so very much. I look forward to this week's concert, and last week's concert was exceptional as well. Congratulations to each of our retirees, distinguished careers in service to our children and this community. Much congratulations to each of those retirees. Very warm congratulations to Jason Smith. We wish you the very best. I'm honored to be able to call you both colleague and friend. And God bless you in your next work. And finally, thank you so much for this appointment. I give you my word, I will work so hard to be worthy of the trust you've placed in me.
Thank you, Sharon. Joe?
I also want to echo, it's probably the most I would ever talk at one of these meetings, but there's a lot to be thankful for here. From the tremendous, I watched the students, one of them actually helped us during the summer to prepare for the COVID situation, got an award tonight for academics. So the students that got all the awards for academics, fantastic job. In regards to the wrestling tournament, 18, I think it was 18 different districts. We finished second. There were a significant number of people here. My understanding was very successful. I was unable to attend. So congratulations to Joey and Jimmy and the rest of the folks that made that happen. The 5 teachers, I've met some of them, talked to some of them. Again, congratulations on your retirement and thank you for all the years of teaching and support for the students. Val Rutherby is our payroll clerk that tonight was one of the individuals. She got 100 on the exam. I just want to do a shout out to Val, to our payroll clerk. Fine job that she's been doing for the last 2 years, and look forward to many years for Val. Margaret Dix, another individual that rolls up under me. Fantastic. Congratulations. I know it's June 30th, but you've been doing a tremendous job for many, many years. And I, for one, am very thankful for the work that you've done. Sharon Smith, congratulations to Sharon Smith as I look forward to another a change in this organization. And but last and most important, I just want to say I work very closely with Jason Smith. And the individuals here, you probably got to know me over these 4 years. Jason has no skeletons in the closet. It was very refreshing for me to work in an organization with an individual that is honest and true, instead of some of the individuals that I worked for in my lifetime. So I just want to wish you the best of luck, Jason. And it's been an honor and a privilege to work directly for you, and again, very refreshing. So. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Melissa?
Echoing many of the congratulations. It's a fantastic night. And a heartfelt thank you to the retiring teachers. They are still working hard. They are mentors, they are leaders, they are hosting student teachers. It's not your typical class of retirees. They are still coming every day and bringing their A game, and they're anchor professionals, and I'm not looking forward to next year without them. I also want to say thank you to the board and the district for your support. I graduated from Leadership Orleans, and I'm very thankful for that honor and ability to attend that on behalf of our school. And we are very excited to start elementary honor roll. So you will see some information coming out about that, so we can celebrate our 4th through 6th graders who achieve a 90 or better GPA each quarter. Thank you.
Thank you. Aaron?
I would like to echo the comments regarding both the athletics department, the successful tournament, the arts department, the phenomenal concert and performances we've seen. Our retirees as well, I congratulate. I certainly congratulate Sharon Smith. I look forward to continuing the work that we've started, and I'm very enthusiastic about partnering with you. And most of all, Jason, congratulations on your position. We've been together the longest. It's 11 years now. I'm going to miss our conversations, and I learned much from you, and I wish you the very best in your next journey.
Thank you, Aaron. Lori?
I just want to say thank you for your support while I was gone, and
I often don't speak during roundtable, but I think as it's apropos here as the calendar turns over this past very, very unique and challenging year, that we are undergoing many changes, and accepting the intent to retire for many of our most long tenured faculty. We're losing a large chunk of experience and mentors, as many of you have said and spoken about, mentors, leading faculty members, people that work hard, and we're going to miss that. Those will be tough shoes to fill. Margaret Dix as well. The stories are incredible regarding her and her long tenure of service here. I thought it kind of interesting in her letter. She said it's one hell of a ride. That was interesting. Jason Smith, again, thank you for all your time and effort that you've put in. We've worked closely over these past 10 years, and you are leaving this district on solid footing and solid ground. And that transition that is somewhat inevitable to our new interim superintendent, Sharon Smith, it's being left in good hands. And I look forward to working closely with you, and the board looks forward to closely working with you as we navigate this transitional period. And so we're being left from good hands, put into good hands as well. So we hope not to skip a beat here.
I just want to have that chance because it came to the meeting, but I also want to extend my congratulations to Sharon as well. You made a fantastic choice with a great team here, so just want to formally congratulate Sharon as well.
Thank you. And with that said, we will be in need of an executive session for personnel matters and negotiation matters as well. Do we have motion?
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor of executive session, please raise your right hand. And we will stop the recording as we go into executive session and return to adjourn the regular meeting. Thank you.
We'll stay in here.